Hi guys, welcome to the Doug Shoe Bushcraft channel. Topic today is EDC, everyday carry for wilderness survival. That is, if I'm able to record. It's just above freezing, a lot of wind, it doesn't know if it wants to rain or snow or what it wants to do. But I'm working hard to bring you some content, and we'll see how it goes. Alright, so survival EDC, recording in the miniature hailstorm. This is what I carry on my belt, around my neck, and my pockets. Every day I'm going to be hiking in the wilderness. Some of this I really don't like to get wet, but oh well. It's the way it is. Anything for you guys. Alright. Did a whole video on this knife. It's the Dexter hunting knife. Green River edition. Same pattern that goes way back to the time of the mountain men, the fur traders. It's carbon steel, really sharp. I just keep it on my belt in a sheath without any sort of retention. That's what I like to do, so it's easy accessing. Put it back in, just gravity and friction holds it in place. I have another knife. It's good to have two because you could lose one. Also, this is my primary blade, so then this knife stays sharp. And that's a Camp King, made by the Imperial Company in Rhode Island, the 60s or 70s, I think. These used to be in gas stations hanging on a cardboard display. 50 cents maybe. They might have gone up to $1 later on. But it's a good knife. That doesn't put on any fancy airs, but easy to sharpen, and that gets shaving sharp, which is what I need sometimes. Let's say I had some sort of injury that required minor bit of cutting of the skin or flesh. I mean, I've done that. Not recommending it. I'm just saying I want something sharp. Can opener, bottle opener, little screwdriver. An awl, at least that's what it's commonly called. I call it a drill because there's a blade here, and this is like a blade. I touch it up, sharpen it a little bit, and I can drill and make a small hole or choose to make a hole as big as that if I want. So that's good. And I like the can opener because I can use that as a really rough use knife to like cut holes in a can of some sort, make a hobo stove, whatever I choose to do. And I have that on a chain along with my vehicle keys, etc. So I don't lose it. I put this on a belt loop or something. And this is in my pocket, and just some extra retention so I don't lose it. Then when I get to camp, the chain has other uses. For example, I can use that to hang a bush pot over the fire. I'm going to start putting these back in my pockets and such because I'm getting too much precipitation. I'll get to this next because it's getting wet. It's good to have paper, notebook, or just fold up paper or something. And also with that, a pen. This is a Fisher Space Pen. Forget what model, but those are bulletproof. They just always work. I just want something that works. So I got the pen and the paper, and that works together with a compass. It's good to have a map. When you're starting out, you really should always have a map. But where I go, it's not always time to get a map. It's not available. Where I want to make a map of like a smaller scale. So the compass works in conjunction with a pen and paper. You can also write notes. And it's good to write like the direction you're going, such like that. Especially if you're the type of person that forgets things. Or let's say you're injured or sick or sleepy, tired, exhausted. Survival situation. If you're heading north and then you have a brain cramp and remember south when it's not true, you know, people die like that. So that the pen, the paper, the compass all go together. It's also a pendant, reminder of Christian faith. Keeps me going because there's a cross on there, and some beads to remind me of my family, my friends. And also I can use that, hang other things around my neck. For example, just one example. Let's say it's at night, I'm going to sleep, I have this around my neck, the pendant around my neck. Now I can hang a flashlight. And it's good to have a flashlight with me all the time. And this is, again, bulletproof. It's Maglite Solitaire. Not the brightest thing the world has ever known, but bright enough. This is around the same brightness, maybe a little bit better, as the 2D cell incandescent flashlights we had for camping when I was a kid and a young man. That's basically was your go-to flashlight. 2D cells, incandescent bulb, and we made do. We did a lot of hiking like that. I went all over the place. But today's technology, I can have the same thing, I would say a little bit better, in Maglite, just that size. Can carry easily EDC because it just takes one AAA, and I can have the extra battery in my pocket very easily. It doesn't weigh me down. It's a real good idea to have these large safety pins with you. If you go to the craft store or the fabric section of a department store, they're called blanket pins, kilt pins, skirt pins, things like that. I know it's not the most macho thing to be hanging out in the fabric store, but you know, sewing section, whatever, but just deal with it. Get a skirt pin. I'm not too proud. It's good to pin different things inside pockets so you don't lose them. There's some things you just don't want to lose. I tried different things for you guys. Right now I'm trying this peanut lighter. I've been carrying it for quite a while, but I want to carry it longer before I do a review. What I have carried for many years is a butane lighter. As far as brands, I recommend Bic and Scripto. I would say Bic is the best in that the functionality is the best. Scripto isn't bad, a little bit less expensive. The dollar store, a lot of times I can get 3 for $1. The mechanism doesn't move quite so smooth, you know, the flint wheel, friction wheel, whatever you want to call it. But the thing about the Scripto is a lot of them are translucent, so you can see how much fuel you have. I've never seen a Bic like that. I don't remember ever seeing a translucent Bic. They're always opaque. And how much fuel do you have? You have to try to shake it. Whether you do one of those brands, I would recommend a butane lighter. But for you, I'm trying this peanut lighter. It's styled after trench lighters, World War I, World War II, I think. I think there was Special Forces. Might not have been the Allies, might have been the other side. But the Special Forces had something very similar to this. This is really inexpensive, Chinese made, but it unscrews and you see it has the O-ring rubber seal. I'm trying not to get it too wet before I open it for you guys. So it's designed to be really open. There's no wind guard around the wick. So that makes it more susceptible to being blown out by the wind. But it's windy now, and there's even precipitation coming down, and I can make it happen. I can just use my hand as the wind guard. So without the shield, if I run out of fluid, then the sparks are very easy to catch on some char cloth. With the ordinary butane lighter, there's a shield around your flint wheel, so you just take that metal guard off, and probably to be the most easy way to catch a spark. But that's a video for another day. Just testing this out for you guys. Works very well. Alright, what other cool stuff do we have? Not everything has to be tactical, I guess. Can blow my nose. You know, I'm a human being, I like to be comfortable. Also, this can be emergency toilet paper. But really, what I use it for is to settle down on the rattle, because I got my extra battery. Got a flint shard and different things. And I'm really doing this every day. So just if I get annoyed with a rattle, I might not carry it, right? But if I can find a way to comfortably do something, I don't have a bunch of annoyances, just feels natural, then it's EDC. So really that's the reason. This is jute twine. Can be used as cord, of course, but also jute twine makes great Tinder bundles, getting a fire going, whether it's using the lighter or flint and steel. So it's dual purpose, many purposes actually. And again, it's cushiony, so I can use it to settle down on the rattle. Earplugs are good. I'm out and about, don't know where I'm sleeping. It's not always right out in the woods. Even if it is, could be next to the train tracks. Or a lot of times I'm alone, but other people there, someone might be snoring. So if I'm not on the lookout, right, it's not my job for security, then put in those, get some sleep. Also, protect hearing if you're doing something that's loud. You're a firearm enthusiast or whatever. I get in the habit of having that in my back pocket. Green trash bag. One that I know is kind of sturdy. Works in conjunction with the jute twine. Make a shelter. Make a poncho. Really good idea to have. And now we're down to flint and steel. A lot of people say it's not a survival technique. Really, for the longest time, I haven't gone to the lighter out of necessity. It's basically laziness or convenience. I want to light a candle. Let's say I'm in church, I want to light a candle. I don't do flint and steel, you know what I mean? Don't want to be perceived as too insane, right? So, some situation, polite dinner party. I mean, I don't smoke, but you know, smokers aren't going to be doing flint and steel every time. But as far as a campfire, you know, camping out in the woods, or even my wood stove, just flint and steel. And I have a video where I had this same tin in my pocket, and then for an experiment I jumped in the river, splashed around, and was able to get a fire going, the flint and steel, because there's no rubber seal or anything, just how tight the lid fits on there. Very little water gets in, so I have an emergency tinder bundle. I got char cloth, and under that I got some punk wood, and that's all I need. I made a steel striker out of a old file, and here's another little piece of flint that I found and napped. So that's it, guys. I find that lighting fires with flint and steel keeps the laziness at bay, because really with fire, a campfire out in the woods, particularly in bad conditions, if I take the time to have the tinder bundle and kindling and really set it up right, then I get a successful fire than being lazy and whipping out the lighter and just have some substandard kindling because I didn't take the time, and then I'm struggling, and in the end it takes a lot longer than if I was patient. So I find that it keeps a laziness at bay and keeps my skills honed. I shared with you my EDC. I'm not saying that yours should be the same. I developed mine by real life experience. I've been doing this since I was a child, hiking, camping with very little gear. I mean, I grew up poor. We couldn't afford much, and it was before the internet and eBay and all that sort of thing. So what was available was like what was in local stores or what we could make at home ourselves. So it was a different world. All I'm saying is I grew up doing this sort of thing, and I'm getting closer and closer to 60 years old. So what I have is what I need. I can't really tell you what you should have because I don't know you and your skills, your experience, what part of the world you live in, what kind of budget you have. Have you ever tried camping out in just your clothing and your EDC? You have to be safe about it. I mean, the person responsible for your safety is you. But when you're starting out, you can do it in a safe way. You could camp out in the backyard behind your house. You could try that in actual campgrounds, surrounded by people. You can bring friends with you, or a wilderness guide, or someone who teaches this sort of thing for a living. Or you can do it in a safe way, but it's one thing to watch the internet and then look at advertisements about survival gear, and they say it's going to work in a certain way. Does it? Do you have the skills to make it happen? So nothing beats experience. I mean, I'm trying to give you some good advice and teach you certain things, but only so much can be done remotely, and nothing beats going out in the woods or whatever sort of wilderness, desert, jungle, whatever sort of wilderness is in your area, and going out there and doing it. I found what works for me. I've tried to share a little bit about it. I'm trying to keep this short. Each item I showed you we can go into as time permits. I thank you for joining me, guys. Be back again soon. Jesus said to them, "Come after me, and I'll make you fishers of men." Mark 1:17. Some sort of animal is marking his territory, maybe a little fox. He's done his business there at least 3 times, it seems. He's claiming this area, but I'm claiming it for the viewers of the Doug Shoe Bushcraft channel. So if I get my ankles chewed off by a fox, it was all for you guys.